Hi everyone, I'm Tori and I am a graduate student in the Student Development Administration program at Seattle University. And the resource I picked was the Rural Community College as an Administrative Labor Market. And I picked this article because, one, I was interested in systems within community colleges. I've shared a few times throughout this course that I studied community colleges really heavily and focused on it in my other classes at Seattle University. I'm going to be starting a full-time job at Green River College, so gaining as much information about the different types of community colleges felt very applicable to what I'm going to be doing in the near future. Two, I actually don't know a lot about rural community colleges. My internships and previous part-time jobs have been in urban community colleges, so I wanted to gain more information about the rural aspect. I also thought it was interesting about the influence of institutional types that were emphasized in this article. This article dives more into the specific types of community colleges, which I don't think is talked about a lot. So I was really wanting to kind of see the differences between each type of community college. So the purpose of this study was to examine whether public community colleges that are classified as a rural community college constitute a labor market. So what type of labor market are rural colleges promoting? How are these colleges functioning in terms of labor? And so the authors decided to look at a sociological concept of internal labor markets. And there are two types of markets that are within this concept. The first one is FILM, which is firm internal labor markets. And this labor market is within a single firm. So kind of if you want to advance into a higher up position, you need to start at the bottom in the same firm. So you're kind of in the same gear, essentially. And then the second one is OILM, which is Occupational Internal Labor Markets. And this labor market exists among firms that are similar in nature. So you can kind of hop between different firms or different focus areas if they're similar, work similar in nature. And most higher education institutions operate within the occupational internal labor market because a lot of student affairs work is somewhat similar, just depending on the field. And so the researchers found that rural community colleges actually operate within the firm internal labor market. So if you are wanting to have a higher position in a rural community college, you're more likely to get it if you start your like the beginning of your career at a rural community college. And this is important because it also emphasizes this long-term, long-range career plan and career goals. So if you are wanting to get into this position, you really need to think way before you might even consider applying how you're going to start, where you're going to start to be set up for success if that opportunity comes your way. And it also recognizes that sometimes rural community colleges can become stagnant or static because if you're solely focusing on a firm labor market, it doesn't open up opportunities for others to come in and provide new ideas, new perspectives for your college. And so I had a few critiques about this article. One was the sample size was not very large. They only gathered data from about 9 states, so that also means you can't really make any generability of all like rural colleges because the sample size was too small. But what I did like in this article was they were very neutral when talking about the different labor markets. They both provided pros and cons to a firm and an occupational labor market. And really, we're just saying one is not better or worse, they just provide different things. And they also emphasized the importance of continuous research. They did recognize that their sample size was way too small, and if they were to able to replicate this in a nation base, they would definitely go big, so that they could make some generalizations. So I appreciated them recognizing the importance of continuous research to develop this. So just in summary, colleges can promote two different types of labor markets, the firm or the occupational. And some rural colleges function within the FILM. And I say some, again, because they were not able to make generability based on their low sample size. And they just wanted to emphasize that if you are wanting a higher position in a rural college, then you should start small or at the bottom, basically, at a rural college, because familiarity is a really big concept that is considered highly when they are hiring for these positions. And here are some discussion questions if you need them to kind of promote discussion. And that's my reference. Thanks.